welcome to another Teacher's Corner. I'm Teacher Kirby, this time coming at you from right above ESD. And here I am. We are coming at you there because we're going to beam down to Starfleet Academy. This episode is going to be about how to reassign underperforming duty officers and how to exchange officers and how I choose, or how most people choose. So when you beam into Starfleet Academy, which is where the personnel officer is found, one of the places personnel officer is found, you can also find your personnel officer on your fleet starbase, which I show in another video about duty officers. Okay, so first thing I look for when I beam into my random spot at Starfleet Academy, if I'm fed, is this monument. Alright, so this monument right here, and I want to put this memorial plaque at my back, and there's the entrance to the door. So I go in here and I find my personnel officer on the right hand side. Okay, so I talk to my personnel officer. First thing I see is submit request for personnel. We've talked about this before. This has our recruitment, our cadres, and our request R&D assistance. So we're not going to talk about that today. Today we're going to talk about these two options: reassign underperforming officers and exchange officers. Alright, so reassign underperforming officers gives you three options: common duty officer reassignment, uncommon duty officer reassignment, and rare duty officer reassignment. So these three options, we'll look at common. Okay, so these three options you have, here we go. So you have requires 5 duty officers. Okay, you select, and personally I select whatever comes up, because in my mind, if I'm doing this, I'm trying to get rid of all of my duty officers on that level. So I'm just going to select whatever comes up. Some people are a little more discriminating. If you want to protect a duty officer from this, send them on a mission. Okay? That will keep them from popping up in the available crewmen here. Send them on a mission or start them leveling up your R&D, whatever it is that you want to keep. So yeah, you can start them leveling up some R&D, or you can send them on a duty officer mission that will protect them from being eligible for this. Okay, so once you've selected your duty officers, which I do not have enough common to fill this, but that's okay. Let's see, I should have enough uncommon. Yep, more than enough. Okay, so once I select my duty officers, then I can then there's worry about the other thing I need, and that is dilithium. So as you can see, for the uncommon duty officer reassignment, I need 2,500 dilithium. For the common duty officer reassignment, I need 500, and for the rare duty officer reassignment, I'm going to need 5,000. And let's see, there it is, 5,000. So now you may say, well, why does this cost dilithium? This costs dilithium because you are taking these 5 low-level duty officers and you are trading them for one for an officer that is next higher up on the scale. So if I'm putting common duty officers in here, plus my 500 dilithium, so white duty officers plus 500 dilithium, I'm going to get 1 green. Okay? So if I take 5 green, I'm going to get, and 2,500 dilithium, I'm going to get 1 blue. Now if I take 5 blue plus 5,000 dilithium, I get 1 purple. Now I will say, this is an expensive way to do it, expensive dilithium wise. But if you have the dilithium to spare and you really want to do it, that's great. Perfectly fine. So again, the way I decide, whatever's there. If I'm using a particular duty officer on a regular basis for something, I make sure he's on whatever assignment I use him for, and that protects him from being put in here. Okay, because it won't let you pick something that's already on assignment. Okay, but other than that, I just pick whatever is available. Okay, so I don't usually filter when I do this. Now, so that's the reassign underperforming officers. Now, exchange officers goes the other way. Exchange officers goes from higher to lower. So I can take from those same green officers that we saw earlier, I can take 1, and again I just put whatever's there. So I can take 1, and I can, without costing anything other than that 1 duty officer, I can turn her into 3 white duty officers, plus 50 in recruitment, of course. And there you go. And I can do this repeatedly every few seconds. Now you see, it doesn't cost me anything other than the duty officer. And so now you may say, well, why would you do this? Well, it's actually pretty simple why I would do this. I do this to get white duty officers to donate to fleets. I already looked, I don't have any blue duty officers to donate. Now you notice this happens pretty quickly. So I can get them all ground down, as we say, to white duty officers pretty quickly. You can only do 1 of these assignments at a time. And pop. And then once you have it all done, you have 3 times as many white duty officers as you started with. So I'm going to have 15 white duty officers. And again, the way I choose, whatever I have available. I personally don't care because I'm not using them for anything. I have plenty of purple duty officers, so I'm not using them for anything. So, again, personally, don't care which ones I use. If you are not the same, put whatever ones you know you want to keep on an assignment of some sort, and that'll protect them. Okay? Now, so why grind them down? So that I can donate. I know my fleet doesn't have any, but so that I can donate to an armada. Okay, so let's see. What do we got here? Yay, this guy needs science, so I'm going to donate all of my science. Pound for pound, duty officers are the best at giving fleet marks. It's the best return. You get approximately 250 to 300 fleet marks for every duty officer you donate, depending on what's required. Upgrade. Nope, they don't need any. There, let's see. Nope, none needed there. Let's see, any there? Nope. Just dilithium there. And none there. So you can see I'm going through my armada and just looking at what's needed to see if any pops up. So this is the reason somebody might do this. Ooh, engineering. There we go. Pop. And I'm just worried about DOFs today. So I can obviously see that there's other things I can donate, but I'm not worrying about them at the moment. Okay, and of course other things, other fleets. There's another fleet. Might be able to find. Okay, so anyway, my point is that you can grind down to white, assuming that you wish to do this, and all it costs you is whatever level duty officer you started on. Personally, I usually take my blues, I grind them down first, and then I grind down my greens that I get from that, and then I eventually get down to the whites. So I usually don't keep anything lower than purple in my duty officer cadre. However, not everybody agrees with that. But you'll notice if I go to roster, I have plenty of purples to pull that off. So there's no reason for me to keep anything less. Okay. Still have some. Anyway, so there's no reason for me to keep anything less than purples. A few of those whites are still there. I'm going to donate them eventually. And you'll also notice that if a duty officer is bound, it will not get ground down. And proof, I want to grind it down. It does not show up as available because it is bound to me. There are a couple ways to bind to you. You can put an officer, oops, I want that up again. You can put an officer on active duty and it will bind them to you at that time. Okay. Alright, same thing for ground. If you bind an officer to you, or if you put it on active duty, it binds them to you. Alright, so the only thing left is to show you how this works or where to go on a KDF character. So a KDF character, same thing. You're going to be going to your academy or fleet starbase, and again I've shown where to go for the fleet starbases before. So I'm going to transorp to Kronos. To Kronos we go. Alright. So again, you're going to go to the academy. Now with Kronos, we need to fly a little closer to the planet. to Kronos. Okay. And I'm gonna beam to Klingon Academy. And again, it's gonna beam me into a random spot, which, yay! Yay for random. Okay. And I'm looking for, what am I looking for? There it is. I am looking for the vendor tents that you see, and this big rock. Vendor tents, big rock, and even this, it looks like a Lincoln log set. Anyway, so I'm looking for all of that, and that will point me to here. And I go past the vendor tents and straight into this multi-purpose room. And I'm looking for, again, personnel officer. And he will he will give me the same options. So, lather, rinse, repeat, as to what we did on the Federation side. But now you know where to find him for both allegiances. Alright, so this has been Teacher Kirby. I hope you learned something. And if you like what you see, please hit that like or subscribe button. Consider becoming a patron for only $1 a month. And you can hear the discussion of Teacher's Corner live every Saturday night at 10 p.m. on the Pilot Review Show. We hope to see you there.